We're in Canada. I'm in the US. I'm in Canada. I'm in the US.
It's a cute little frog. Oh.
We're at the International Peace Garden between North Dakota and Manitoba, Canada right now. About to start a new adventure in North Dakota. Our Manitoba adventure did not go as smoothly as we wanted to.
No, not at all.
Hopefully we will have good luck in North Dakota.
This is a pretty interesting park. Created in 1932, shared between the US and Canada, citizens from either country can visit without passports. There are multiple gardens, the bell tower we just heard, a chapel. That's what we were in the beginning of the video. And there's a 9/11 memorial too. We got here pretty late with less than an hour before closing time, so we had to rush our visit a bit. A lot of North Dakota is flat land, fields, not a lot of trees, emptiness. The entire state isn't like that, but most of it is. The meme is that North Dakota is incredibly boring. One of, if not the most boring state. And while there's some truth to it, and I get why people say that, I don't buy it completely. There's plenty that North Dakota has to offer.
Do you like South Dakota but don't want to see Mount Rushmore? Come to North Dakota. It's just a very long drive from wherever you live.
So, we went to this little place to get some food, a couple drinks at the bar, and this elderly fellow starts talking to us. He told us that the North Dakota State Fair was starting tomorrow, which I should have known if I was planning better, but I had no idea. It turns out the fair is a huge deal for the state.
Need another? Are you gonna fall asleep? You have another?
Also, the old guy that told us about it really wanted to go home, but his wife wouldn't stop gambling on the slot machines, so it was kind of entertaining watching them bicker. But anyways, the North Dakota State Fair. It's the largest annual event in the state, attracting over 300,000 visitors from all around each year. I met some people from Australia of all places when I went. So the fair has been going on all the way back since 1922 and has only missed a few periods. They did not hold the fair from 1942 to 1945 because of World War II, of course. In 2011 because of a flood in the area, and in 2020 because of COVID. Pretty much, I mean, that's obvious. If you've been to a state fair, or pretty much any fair, you can kind of know what to expect. It's nothing groundbreaking. But I can tell you with certainty that the North Dakota State Fair does not disappoint. It's extremely American. And I think the footage I'll be showing throughout the video is evidence enough of that.
Put it all, rub it all the way around, rub it at the end, rub it for about 15 seconds, let it sit wet, it'll absorb in over the next several minutes, but within...
But you can still see it.
Keep going.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome. So this is...
They're working.
Well, no, I meant that too fast.
So as you can see, the fair is peak people watching territory. People watching is one of my favorite hobbies. You got people sleeping on mattresses for sale, getting sold weird pseudo-medicine, atrocious AI art garbage, Funko Pop garbage, and I saved the knockoff Labubu garbage clips for their own montage.
What do you think of labubus?
I don't like labubus, and people gotta stop putting them in their bum. It's a labubu, not a lapoo-poo.
They're called labubus. Fun to say, they're taken from the internet, but there is concern about labogus ones. They could be fake.
People from a brand new fresh. Okay, so last one.
Don't lose your chance, guys. You're only gonna be here for a few minutes.
Come on, everybody. Come and take a picture with Kitty and Lily. Right here, right now.
So after people, the next best thing to see are the animals, the livestock, the sheep, chickens, cows, pigs that all the farmers from all around nearby have brought to show off at the fair.
You'll like the name of these.
Look at those. Those are guineas.
Yeah, these should be bobwhite quails. These are female though, so it's harder to tell.
Pig races. I lived in a neighborhood called Guinea Pig Town for 3 years, a neighborhood in Baltimore, Maryland, adjacent to the larger neighborhood of Pigtown. And every year in Pigtown, they'd have a pig race during the Pigtown Festival. And now I've seen a pig race in North Dakota too.
One for money, two for soup, three to get ready and go, piggy, go!
Is he going to win? Here comes the green one on the inside, but it is the yellow one. The yellow one is the winner.
Onion.
His dad brought his son to kind of help out, so we'll give Sage a big round of applause whenever he took the time off from EMT and to kind of help us out dance. So with that, we're going to give you a few dancing. Notice they're gonna look at each other and show off to see who's got the better skills. And it's kind of like first one to look away loses kind of a deal, but you know they go back. Now they'll go back towards each other. What do you think?
Leaving the state fair, we drove off to our next destination, the Scandinavian Heritage Park. Many of the early Europeans to move to North Dakota were Scandinavian, especially Norwegian. Norwegians were moving into the state as early as the mid-19th century, and by the turn of the 20th century, nearly half of all immigrants coming into North Dakota were Scandinavian, mostly Norwegian. Norwegians were quick to assimilate to American culture, many learning to speak English early on. So while about a third of all North Dakotans can trace their lineage back to Norway, it's unlikely to encounter anyone that still speaks Norwegian. That being said, this park was created exactly for preserving that heritage, and they hold Scandinavian festivals and events here each year. I got to visit Norway once, actually. I went to Bergen, and I really hope I get the chance to return one day. The large man working as the announcer for the Indian dance performance at the state fair mentioned something that interested us. He said that there was a big powwow happening at another nearby area in North Dakota. So after the Scandinavian Park, we left Minot and started heading towards the powwow in Mandaree, North Dakota. In order to get there, we had to pass over the Missouri River, and that's what we were looking at over at here. We couldn't find an address for the powwow. It just said it was happening in Mandaree. There was very limited info about the whole thing online, just a couple Facebook posts, so we just drove to Mandaree and hoped to find out more there. When we got to town, it didn't look how I expected it to. There were lots of houses with boarded up windows, some rundown trailers, and a general eeriness in the air. But we were definitely in the right place. We could hear the singing and the drums as we drove further in. I felt kind of out of place at the powwow. It felt like a insular type of event, not really meant for people outside the community. For example, at the state fair, it was a show, meant for people to learn about the dances, the culture, but here the performances were more for the ones performing, family members and friends. It was an interesting experience nonetheless, and we ended up camping there overnight. A bunch of people at the powwow were doing the same, lots of trailers and RVs. The rain slowed them down a little bit, but they kept the chanting, drumming, and dancing up well into the night.
Mind you, that singers.
After waking up, we saw that the Pow Wow was much of the same from yesterday, doing much of the same stuff, so we moved on to our next stop, Little Missouri State Park. The trails were closed due to rain making them dangerous, but we still explored the visitor center area. The park is known for its badlands. In the Dakotas, I feel like people think of South Dakota just for having badlands because that's where Badlands National Park is located, but there are some in North Dakota too. Badlands are a type of dry terrain defined by heavy erosion of sedimentary rock and clay soil, creating those cool-looking sloped rock formations.
They're very smart.
Our last big thing that we did in North Dakota was go to Theodore Roosevelt National Park. It's a park broken into two main areas that are detached from each other. They call them the North Unit and the South Unit. We went to the South Unit because that one looked like it had a lot more to do and see.
See how much wormwood this is? This is fields of wormwood.
Now, the name Theodore Roosevelt National Park. Teddy Roosevelt left a more than positive legacy as a president for many reasons, one of which being his efforts towards conservation and laying the foundation for the National Park Service to be created. He established 18 national monuments, 5 national parks, 150 national forests, 4 game preserves, and 51 federal bird reservations. His specific connection to North Dakota, though, was that he used to live in and own 2 ranches in the state, back when North and South Dakota were still one combined territory, the Dakota Territory. In 1883, he bought land and started his first ranch in this area. He hired managers to run it, and then he returned to New York City. The next year, 1884, tragedy struck Roosevelt. On February 14th, Valentine's Day, both his mother and his wife passed away, in the same house, on the same floor, but due to different medical complications. With his mother, it was typhoid fever. His wife Alice had kidney failure after having given birth a couple days prior. In his diary that day, he drew a big X and wrote, "The light has gone out of my life." Struck with grief, Roosevelt left his newborn child Alice, named after his wife, in the care of his sister, leaving her to raise her, and headed west, back to North Dakota to buy another ranch, but this time to stay there and become a frontiersman. Prairie dogs are smarter than they appear. They don't just make simple, meaningless sounds. They change the pitch, duration, and pattern of their chirps, which differentiate between types of animals or humans, their size, proximity, speed, shape, and even color. After a predator is passed, prairie dogs jump up and make a woohoo sound.
Or if the snake stop making noise. If you're lucky, you'll find
Flint and steel. Flint and steel.
Getting that close to those bison was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced. But what followed, I can only describe as a series of misfortunate events. So we're hungry, head to a restaurant after leaving the trails. It's pouring rain still, so when I park, we hop out the car and run in. We're sitting, we've ordered, and Leo says, "Hey, can I get the keys? I want to get the phone charger out of the car." I give him the keys, but when he comes back, he doesn't have the charger, and he has a concerned look on his face. Leo says, "Don't freak out. We need to get a magnet." I say, "What are you talking about? What happened?" Leo slipped and dropped the car key, and it fell into a storm drain. Now, this isn't a situation that I've ever considered happening, so needless to say, I was not prepared. But we tried handling the situation as logically as possible. The key was visible, hanging on some ledge, faintly shining near the bottom of the drain at least 10 feet down. But water wasn't hitting it, thankfully. Some North Dakotans are walking on the sidewalk, and they see this transpiring and how we're obviously distraught. Leo begins talking with them while I go try to find local authorities, a park ranger, anyone that could help. Before I can even get far, Leo calls me and says they got it. They actually got the key. Those guys walking by had a magnet on them and were able to tie it to something, fish it down, and lift the key up. It took multiple attempts of dropping the key back since the magnet and the metal part of the key were so weak, but they actually pulled it off. So at that point, we just decided to leave North Dakota entirely and go south. But the chaos would not let up. We went through a brief hailstorm, got through it pretty quick, no big deal. So we started going through a small town after that, got on the highway, driving for about 3 minutes before another storm hit, but this time much, much bigger.
What the hell just happened? Where are we? It's gone. What? Oh my god.
I couldn't see almost anything in front of me. The next town was 60 miles of flat nothingness south of us. So I decided we have to turn around and go back. I can't drive in this. We had only drove a few minutes away, but since I was driving so much slower on the way back, it took us at least 15 or 20 minutes. And that felt like a lifetime in this. We were stuck in North Dakota for one more night, but early next morning, we were out of there.